Alhamdulillah, my journey to Islam was kind of quick and easy. I did the research myself and I just accepted it as the truth. I felt like it answered all what I always believed innately about the attributes of Allah, being a creator, not being anything of like his creations, that piece of it. I feel like I have guidance in my life. This is how my parents reacted when I converted to Islam. Some context. I am Hondureña, but I grew up here in the States after I was born in Honduras. My parents were the non-practicing Catholic, just by tradition type of Latinos. And I pretty much grew up agnostic my whole life. So the day that I came around to telling them that I wanted to embrace Islam and follow this religion, this is how they reacted. Alhamdulillah, my journey to Islam was kind of quick and easy. I did the research myself and I just accepted it as the truth. I felt like it answered all what I always believed innately about the attributes of Allah, being a creator, not being anything of like his creations, that piece of it. So when I wanted to tell my parents, I was already living on my own. And so I decided to wait until I could come home, visit, and tell them in person. I wasn't wearing hijab at the time. And I mainly just explained to them, like, through all my struggles, the more I researched about Islam, I now have a sense of peace in my life. I feel like I have guidance in my life. Oh, I remember that I had to tell my dad first. And also, I converted 2.5 years ago, if that helps. And my dad is the quiet type, so he didn't have much to say. He was just like, okay, are you sure? And then when my mom came back from visiting Honduras, she also was like, this is a bit extreme, like, why? And I explained to them, like, what Islam really is, not their perceptions that they have from what they learned in the media. And my advice to any other sisters out there or anybody that's looking to embrace Islam is that, one, you accept it as your truth, that Islam is your truth, and it might not be everybody's truth. When you go to tell your parents, to have patience with your parents, because if I were to put myself in my parents' shoes, I bet that this came as a huge surprise, that they never imagined their little girl to grow up and be so different from what they imagined she would be like. So try and put yourself in your parents' shoes and have empathy for them, that this is a big change for them and that you will need to give them some time to kind of process it and go slow in telling them about Islam if they have their reservations, in time with your kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? With your improved manners and character, inshallah, they will see the beauty of Islam. When I first started looking into Islam, I had a thought about, okay, I can believe this with all my heart, but how do I actually go out into this world and identify as Muslim when I grew up being Latina? And I was nervous and scared about all the changes to come, but alhamdulillah, honestly, I do think my life has changed for the better, but that doesn't mean it hasn't come with its challenges. Throughout my journey these last 4 years of embracing Islam and trying to just figure out my own identity, how to be a good Muslim, but also stay true to myself, I didn't always have someone that I could talk to about this, that could understand what it's like to be a Latina Muslim. This is why I'm so grateful to have found Islam in Spanish, and especially when they wanted to create a show that was by Latina Muslims for Latina Muslims. Inshallah, I want to be able to reach further and more of the newer generation of Latina Muslims so that we can just begin to have a discussion, so we can begin to feel seen and heard. Ramadan is around the corner, and we just wrapped up the first part of the series of the show Latina Muslims Talking About. You can find it on Islam in Spanish's YouTube or Facebook page, where you can watch the recap videos of the interviews that we've done or the discussions that we've had. We're going to be taking a little break for the month of Ramadan, but that doesn't mean that we're going to stop working. In the background, I'm trying to prepare for the next series, for the next season, per se, of the show. This is where I ask our sisters to help me make this show ours, to let me know what are the things that you're interested on listening to. Are you tired of the conversations always being based around our hijab, our form of modesty? Would you like to talk more about the issues or want to reflect more on the positive? Just know that this series, Latina Muslims Talking About, isn't about giving like scholarly advice. It's literally woman to woman having a discussion as if we were hanging out and talking about like our experiences and what we've gone through.